gentlemen, we got a whole Founder Series announcement on this Friday?
J-Mac, look.
Hi.
Yeah, that's still not a Gormizer. We're still missing him. But instead, we get a Hinduman.
This whole bit, by the way, was stupid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. I'm like, okay, let's go with it. It didn't work out as planned. God was supposed to walk on set.
I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, he's still MIA. I'm not sure where he is.
Sending tweets, I believe. But at least the video's out for you all. If you've not checked it out, obviously you can head over to socials and you'll get all this information there, as well as the blog post should be up as well. And Gore walks on set, hopefully, and tells us that yes, everything's live.
Everything's live.
Hooray!
Hooray!
The blog posts were no problem. Twitter decided to give me a little bit of trouble. It decided it did not like the fact that I typed it a few days ago and was prepared.
Good. Yeah, this is a weird bit because like I've been doing shows like this for years, right? It's really weird to be the one coming forward to be like in charge of the decisions in a weird way, and then go, yeah, this is what we're doing, and explain it all. So yeah, it's the other. What question? You guys got questions? You shouldn't. You did the video.
No,
great job by the way.
I got it. Thank you so much.
Nice work.
Yeah, I should know it.
You should know everything
in and out at this point.
Cool.
So go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, go.
Actually, there's a video.
Wait, he got me.
Were you not paying attention to the 3 minute and 46-second video?
I'll have you know, I wasn't, because I was retyping a bunch of stuff as fast as I possibly could, so I didn't get yelled at.
Quickly, production, can you just bring up as well, there was an end slate at the end of the video that I want to touch on first of all. Tickets are announced of when they're going to be on sale, which will be September 13th. We'll have more information in the next week or two regarding the ticket costs, but for now, that's just a confirmation of when the date will actually be. First of all, just regarding that. Second of all, there was something else mentioned in the video that I do want to touch on a little bit more. Obviously, we were just talking about specifically Europe, EMEA, as we call it now, which makes more sense, and North America. We are working on introducing other regions too. I don't have more details to share today, but I do believe in the next week or two I will. I am looking to expand to other regions where it makes sense to begin with, and hopefully, if the game grows and goes big, we'll go as big as international as we can. Hopefully, maybe to the scale of Smite 1 was, where we have, Oceania, LATAM, Southeast Asia. We'll see, but I'm not going to put all the money in and invest in something where there's no real scene developed just yet. But for the scenes that are a little bit more developed, expect to hear back from me soon about LATAM, Brazil, specifically the two regions I'm really looking at to try and get you guys more information on.
I have a question I can ask about, because at this point we've gone over it a few times, so I understand it a lot more. But I'm kind of curious when the discussion was, because it's 6 different stages, and we're doing some formats that are different than what we've done, and then some, like the open bracket, we've done a million billion times.
Yeah.
But how did Swiss get introduced to the idea of Swiss
being
put in here?
If you want to bring up the roadmap real quick, first of all, I just want to show off the roadmap.
Stage
talk over this a
2A.
little bit. It's 2A, and we'll actually show the bracket a little bit too. But just so you guys get a bit of a recap here of what's in the video and what more information you can find. Swiss kind of came up as a conversation point for a while, I think, over the years, because MOBA specifically, there's only a certain amount of real options you've got in terms of format to make it entertaining for the fans, but also entertaining for the players too. Swiss was one of these formats where you get a bit of randomness of like, oh, you're all 1-0. Well, you're going to get, is it Jade Dragons of years gone past versus, LG of years gone past? Are they going to face off at 1-0? One of them will be 1-1 then. It's a bit more of a fun factor to just give some actual competition, but also give you a bit more of a structure in terms of what you'd expect from a league format, in a sense. You'll get a regular game a week. You're going to have a scheduled slot for your game. You're going to be against another team that's got an equal record to you, and you're competing to try and qualify onto the next stage. I will mention there's a little bit more to Swiss, which if you wouldn't mind bringing up the Swiss bracket just real quick, just so people can see how this breaks down and make some explanation for you. Obviously, it's pretty simplistic. We're not going all the way deep with Swiss, but it will be the first of 3 wins or 3 losses. If you're 3 losses, you're rubbish. You'll move on to stage 3. And if you win, you'll advance to stage 4 is the thing. I am going to let you all know as well, I'm going to probably throw a bit of a prize pool for the winners of this. So like if you go 3-0 in this, maybe there's a little bit of moolah attached there too. But I'll update that soon. I just wanted to give some little sprinklings that we're going to be in the video there.
It also should the convenience of being top 16 in stage 1 is that then no matter what, you're still advancing from the Swiss bracket. You could go in here and just have the worst time of your life and go 0-3, instant out. You don't get a single win. You still go to stage 3.
And you do. And for stage 3 specifically, if we can go back to the full format again, sorry, production for this, but stage 3, the Lance Chance qualifier, this is an opportunity really to have the teams that don't necessarily make the top 16 in each region in stage 1, but also teams that will form late. I'll be honest, there's teams that are going to form after the first 3 weeks of the game coming out going, we could put a team together here and maybe do a run. So there's an opportunity there, but the last chance qualifier, that will be seeded to an extent in terms of if you are one of the worst teams out of Swiss, You are not. If you go 0-3 in Swiss, I'm not going to rate you super highly coming into the LCQ, you know? Yeah. However, if you went 2-3 in Swiss and you just missed out, you've probably got a bit more of a seeding bonus there in terms of how your group's going to be structured.
After you said it, now all I can think is like Season 2 Panthera.
Oh, that's what
because before they became Epsilon, where it's just like, yeah, we're a few weeks late. Doesn't matter. We're gonna go win every single week anyway.
For 2 years in a row,
just absolutely dominate.
Yeah, yes. I think Swiss is an interesting format for MOBAs because typically you only see this in like card games or other kind of more like short form esports stuff where, you know, there might be 8 or 9 rounds of play to kind of see like who's the best amongst like hundreds and hundreds of people. So seeing it in a more condensed form will be interesting, I think, at least for the audience, because it does give that factor and that kind of storyline where these two teams are both 2-0. One's got to come out undefeated of this, you know, one's going to come out with a loss. You know, who's it going to be? And you get that for every round of those stages where it's the undefeated versus the undefeated, the losers versus the losers to see who's the better of them and whatnot. So I think it's going to be a very fun format to really watch through.
And it also doesn't punish you if you take like an early L. You know, you didn't quite understand the meta. You take one loss and you're like, is my tournament life done? No, you got a couple more chances to climb back in.
Now, obviously, the bigger goals with the scene in general is to open it up to more people having access to play consistently, especially during the first early years or so of Smite 2. We're not going to just form a pro league. There is no pros. Everyone is a clay minion from this day onwards. It's not going to change. You are a clay minion now. It's confirmed in ranked.
It'll never change.
Even if you play ranked, you are a clay minion, and that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. But there is no pro players. You may have been a pro player in Smite 1. Prove it in Smite 2. It's not going to happen just yet. So it's more of an open format that we want to have options for people to be able to play, multiple stages of competition. And to be clear, we may see some changes when we move past January, past Vegas, and do some other format potentials as well. This isn't something that's locked forever, that this is going to be the format continuing, but it is something we want to experiment with the Swiss system to see if there's any good use there and people enjoy it, not just to play, but also from a viewer standpoint as well. Makes a lot of sense. And I will mention the Swiss, if anyone's got questions, that will be all best of 3 as well for those series between those teams. They're not just best of 1s before everyone starts saying that. So
because I think, and this, I wrote a lot of blogs about this. Open bracket is like, a lot of them are like best of 1 until best of 3s.
Yep. And that's
pretty much everything outside of that is best of 3 or best of 5. Like it literally, everything after that is like, hey, cool, as maximum competitive as you can make it without it lasting 18 hours every day.
And obviously, we've not mentioned too much about Stage 5 and Vegas specifically, but we've already kind of announced Vegas will be double elimination with 6 teams. And Stage 5 will lead us to that by taking 8 teams down to 6 for that Vegas. And we'll explain the in-studio LAN a little bit more as that comes in closer. But for now, the really focus should be on the next few weeks. Obviously, first weekend, we're going to just do an open bracket, have a bit of fun, maybe get a team together to see if you're going to be able to advance and start the qualification process for Stage 1, or just to, get a feel of the game, really, and get people identifying the early meta that's going to develop and everyone's going to be OP or underpowered,
I'm really excited for this.
Oh, you're actually really excited?
I'm actually really excited.
Super excited.
I'm stressed because all I've done is thought about this since January. We've been working on this, obviously. It's one of those things of like, we've been working so hard behind the scenes.
The whiteboard.
Well, the hardest
there
thing...
were so many different formats.
The reason for the whiteboards and stuff like that, like we talked about a Compass League, by the way. If you've not heard of Compass, go look it up. We're not doing that because it was Northeast, North, South, East, West, play each other in divisions. I'm like, no, that's just too much. Maybe next year.
Shelly, your next video, it's going to be 18 minutes long, and it's going to be explaining whatever that was.
The hardest thing is definitely trying to find the balance point of everyone's equal at this point in time. There is no pro players. There's no advantages. So we really have to go down to the basics of like, how do you seed teams if you want an even keel to an extent, and that's something that's going to have to be developed as time goes on. So, but definitely an open format. We're excited to see the 3 EMEA, 3 NA teams that come and the additional other teams we'll get from other regions all being well, and then excited to see how the first phase of Smite 2 goes because it's a learning ground for everyone once again.
I just know because next week we're doing Tuesday 24/7 goes live.
Yep.
Next Saturday, Sunday we're doing tournaments for EMEA, NA. And all I know is that whatever we see next weekend and then the things we see 2 weeks after are going to be so drastically different as people figure things out. I was like, okay, four days in the playground in the sandbox, you got this idea. Now you've got 2 weeks, and the teams that show up for the first open bracket are going to be crazy.
Any questions in chat, by the way? Ask them now. If not, I will do a Q&A because I'm not going to just do it all in this one little breath here. But if you've got questions in chat, try and ask him now, and I'll try and answer where I can.
Real quick.
I'll bring up any good ones.
Yeah, if there's no good ones,
I
just
forgot
ban them.
the,
If there's bad questions, just ban them.
Well, this guy wants to know if he can go negative MMR.
Ban him.
You shouldn't be able to, but you probably can.
You are Clay already.
We'll make sure your account specifically. No, so I think to reiterate important dates on this one, as mentioned at the end of the video and through our post we just put out, September 13th is when tickets go on sale, and then literally the next day is when competition starts on September 14th. So we're 3 weeks away from all of this starting up. So now this announcement is out there. You want to start looking for your team, start trying to form up as soon as the alpha goes live fully 24/7 on Tuesday the 27th, like 4 days from now, whatever the amount of time that is. You want to start hopping in and getting that practice. And the important thing to remember is that it's a 3-week patch cycle that the devs are kind of working on here. So it's going to be very aggressive changes very quickly compared to Smite 1, where it's, okay, here's a month, we might see a small change. There's going to be a lot happening in those cycles, not nearly as big as obviously what Alpha Weekend 4 to CA1 is going to look like that we're seeing now. But there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be new gods popping in all the time to make sure to really be keeping up with changes to the map, changes to the itemization, all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be a lot to keep up with for you, but that's part of the competitive fun. And I think that was one of my favorite changes that we kind of made in the more recent years of Smite 1's esports. Was it used to be, okay, don't put out a massive like game-changing patch right before a week of competition. But then we started putting it out there, and it was kind of just the best players have to learn and thrive in that short amount of time given. So I'm excited to see how the esports scene.
What they say yesterday too is like we're getting 2 new gods every 3 weeks or something like that.
2 gods
for a
every
while.
3 weeks.
Which if you played like in the beta of Smite 1, like it was for a while there, it was like a god a week. And those were some Wild West times on the battlegrounds. It was very interesting. AMC Jungle Demolished, so I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
Are they allowed to use their player-made team names, or will they be given a team name?
You will make your own team names. If your team name is stupid, I will change your team name to something more appropriate. Just to be clear. So
if you use
call yourself what you want.
Be smart about it.
However, be stupid, and I'll definitely change your team name, and you'll get a name you won't like. I promise you.
Yeah. So like
Can we go back to the roadmap real quick?
Yeah.
And then Hazer wanted to know,
Shut up, Hazer.
how many teams are going to the Georgia qualifier, Lan?
All right.
The stage 5?
Yes.
8 teams.
8 teams to
teams?
Georgia
I'll guarantee you
qualifier.
8 teams.
And
right now.
that's the thing. So stage to illustrate it. So open bracket, that's however many of you sign up. 16 of those are in Swiss.
Yep.
That are playing each other.
Yep.
8 from Swiss go straight to stage 4 for
Yep.
playoffs. 8 go to the lower or the last chance qualifier. 8 teams from open bracket 2B go to the last chance. So that's 16 teams again.
Yep.
That gets narrowed to 8, which join the other 8. So stage 4, also 16 teams.
Correct.
Then it gets whittled down to 8. Then it gets whittled down to 6.
and that's per region as well. That isn't total. That is a
There's a lot.
per region. So all those numbers
5.
we said technically double it.
Stage 5, just to be clear, 3 EMEA, 3 NA, and 2 other regions, which I will confirm in the next 2 weeks. Okay? That's my goal for that. Worst case scenario is it expands, and we're definitely going to do 8 teams at stage 5, to be clear. But at the moment, the layout is 3 EMEA, 3 NA, and 2 other regions is my goal. Any other questions? Cool, I can just disappear then. I hope you're all happy.
Yeah, you can probably just. I think
did great
anything
stuff.
else that pops
I mean,
in,
if
we
you
could
want to like
probably
watch
cover.
Reddit, you're
No.
more than
Yeah,
welcome to
we got like a Reddit
You
segment.
got like a whole thing going. You
Trust
can,
me,
you
I'm
can hang out all day.
I'm going to get to spend plenty of time on Reddit this weekend, probably just read over the esports feedback.
Oh,
yeah.
we got a
it
question
said, I
what?
saw something on Reddit. This is just leaks. This is nothing confirmed.
Reddit.
Will we get a talent announcement? Will there be a talent announcement?
I'm not going to do...
Unless Hindu changes something very drastically, I'll be there. I can announce that.
I'll be there.
You all hope.
Charlie, will you be there?
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
It'd be a bit of a weird if you were on the show. But in terms of actual talent
This
announcements...
is how we all found out, by the way.
I'm going to be using a couple of different talent pieces and hopefully to, have a bit more of a bolstered scene. With the fact that we'll be able to do more online stuff as well, I do want to try and expand to a bit more international again. So we're not just locked to North American kids. No offense to North American kids.
I hate
but
North American
if there's other people that can potentially work with us, it is something I'm interested in. Feel free to poke me a DM or something, or send me a message if you're interested. I will take it under advisement. No guarantees though. But we'll see how the scene develops. It's still early days. We don't have a pro league yet. So in terms of casting body, expect to see some faces. Anthony Mallon, you probably already been introduced to. He'll be joining us, and obviously Dave got announced recently that he'll be joining us once again.
Yeah.
But I expect to maybe see a couple more faces jumping in and out at certain points in time. Is what I'd say there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's it. What's Mike got to say?
Does NA include LATAM, or is LATAM separate from Mike?
Mike, you should know the difference between that. I'm not going to answer your stupid question if you would have listened to what I said. I literally mentioned last time
I
independently.
think Hazer did say
You muppet.
they were mentioned separate earlier. Yeah.
He's all these former pros coming out of the woodwork. I get to call them former pros from now on until they prove it all again. But honestly, guys, I hope you all enjoy and like and are excited about the esports announcement stuff. It is going to be an ongoing thing where we will develop with the game as always. I'll be clear with your spectators, not going to be 100% by the time we go live, but neither is the game. It's still in development too. We will be battling with you, but you know esports care, and we're here to try and do the best service we can for you guys. We want to make an entertaining product. We want you guys to enjoy the competition. So if you got feedback, negative or positive, I'm not afraid of it. I'll be as transparent as always have tried to be about situations and what's going on. But we're going to continue to grow the scene. And I've got to stop saying the word continue. I'm turning into a cast. I'm thinking about it. Well, yeah.
I guess one other thing to add in there, if you are an international broadcaster and you like to cast in your own language, you will be able to restream either our stream, or if you can jump into Matches and Spectate and you want to cast some of those games, feel free to do so. And if you are doing that, like on your Twitch channel or YouTube, let us know. If you need to just ping me directly, if you want to ping Hinduman, let us know, and we can try and give you some extra promotion, whether that just be on our socials or on our broadcast, even when it's happening, just because we know that not everybody speaks perfect English. Some people will prefer to listen to it maybe in Spanish, in German, French, whatever language it may be. So if you are going to be restreaming our broadcast to cast in your own language or just kind of general talk about it, let us know, because we want to make sure you got some proper promotion as well.
Yeah, one other note on that as well. You're free to stream your games if you want to. There's no blockage on that from us whatsoever.
Might want to delay.
If you're streaming your open bracket stage 1 games, you can go right ahead. You get sniped or something, don't come crying at me, because I'm not going to listen. But at the same time, you can feel free to stream whenever you want to in your games and your point of view. We will be spectating alongside wherever we can in certain games, but open broadcast for you guys. As long as you feel comfortable doing it, go right ahead. I advise a delay for your own safety, but if you don't want to do that, don't come whinging at me.